Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to do a ranking video of all the Godsmack albums. But before I do that, I know there's no video yesterday, it's a busy day, and the race didn't come on. So since there's no race next weekend, I'll do the review next Monday, so that's going to happen then. Another quick message, the videos might come a little bit later, but it's because I work 4 days this week, so that's why the videos going to be a little bit later, but not too much later. Anyways, I'm ranking all 7 albums from Godsmack. I just recently did a review on other albums, and I just want to rank them the complete apart. Big Godsmack fan. I loved reviewing all the albums. One of my favorite bands of all time. Just an awesome band, and this is how I rank their albums. At number 7, and my least favorite album is 1,000 Horsepower. It was just, like in my review, it was kind of a disappointing album. Few good songs off it, but just some parts of it I didn't like. It wasn't like their other albums really, and to me it was kind of a sad thing. But 1,000 Horsepower was by far my least favorite. It wasn't really terrible, but it was nowhere near as good as the past albums. So I can only give it a, a B. Can't even give it a B plus. Um, it's an okay album, not their best, but it's still pretty okay album. Not, but my least favorite Godsmack album. In sixth place is their latest album, which is When Legends Rise. Um, this album wasn't bad, but it wasn't. The reason why it's lower than the rest of the albums is because it's so much different than any other albums before. It's not as heavy. It's more mainstream. It's not bad though. It's not terrible. It's still a pretty good album, better than 1,000 Horsepower, and I like it. But it's not nowhere near as good as their albums beforehand. It's like 1,000 Horsepower, but like the Oracle and Back are still way better albums. But this is still a pretty decent album. Still some great songs off it. It's just not my favorite Godsmack album. And it gets a B plus, but it doesn't get an A because it's not like what I expect from Godsmack. So, and number 6 is When Legends Rise. Number 5 is the Four album. Four album, it's not their best album, but it's not their worst. It's a middle range. There's a few good songs. There's a few songs I do like off it, but there's some songs on this album which I just can't stand. Um, it's still not that bad of an album though. It's one of the first new albums of Godsmack that came out, and I was really into Godsmack. I'm so happy to get it. But it was kind of disappointing. It was nowhere near as good as the first 3 albums. But I still gave it a B plus. But it's not one of the best. But it's still a pretty decent album. Now, number 4 in the rest up or albums I really like. Number 4 is The Oracle. The Oracle was a great album that came back from the 4 album. Like majority of the songs out of this album, I like them around this time too. I think they were still pretty at their end. They're kind of the prime before they really changed to 1,000 Horsepower. But the Oracle is a great album, a lot of great songs. They're not as like iconic as like the first 3 albums, but still not that bad of an album. So I have to give this album an A. It's a regular A, nothing lower or higher than that. But still a great album, the best album since the original 3, and and then that's the reason why it's at number 4. And number 3 is their first album, the first Godsmack album, which is just their self-titled album. Is a classic. It's one of my favorite Godsmack albums of all time. The reason why it's not as high as the other 2 is because there's few songs on here I just don't listen to that often anymore. But overall, it's just by far a great way to start a great first album for this band, and that's why their first album's at number 3, and it gets an A. It's a great album, one of my first rock slash metal albums of all time, and it deserves to be in this top 10. I mean, this top 7. I mean, it deserves to be in this ranking. So, number 3 is their first album, and number 2 is Awake. Awake is such a legendary album. My second album, I listened through the whole thing, like pretty much all the songs, except for maybe one. Like my favorite songs, Awake, Sick of Life, and and there's a few others. Vampires is underrated instrumental. Great album. So many great songs. It's just one of the most iconic albums of all time, and I think it's an A plus. I love Awake. It's one of my favorite rock metal albums of all time, and it deserves to be in the number 2 spot. But number 1 was the first rock slash metal album I got into. Is Faceless, their heaviest album, and I love all the songs off this album. Such an iconic album, and it's at their prime. This is my favorite. This is where my favorite era of Godsmack. So many great songs. I Stand Alone, Straight Out of Line, I Am. There's a lot of great songs on this album. So Faceless is my favorite Godsmack album. A plus easily. And yeah, that's how I rank all 7 of their albums. Godsmack's a great band, and I don't like where they are right now, but their heyday it's a killer band. So good. Wish I could get back to that, but that's my ranking for this week. Tomorrow it's gonna be switched. Tomorrow I'm gonna do a new I haven't done on this channel yet. I'm gonna keep it a surprise, but no music for a little while. I'm gonna dive into something new here, and it's gonna be on Wednesday to Thursday because tomorrow night I'm gonna be watching uh, Godzilla vs Kong, so that will be up on Thursday. I'm gonna watch it Wednesday night. So some exciting stuff to review this week, and stuff like that. And it's gonna be I'm excited for tomorrow. So please like, subscribe, comment, hit notification bell, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.